When I was studying to be a teacher, one of the things they taught us is that as a teacher, you have to be careful not to hold students in a box, not to hold students captive to some kind of a label. For example, they were very careful to say, don't tell students you're bad, you're never going to do this, you're never going to do this. Because in essence, what you're doing is prophesying to them. And if you tell a child long enough what they can't do, what they're going to do, guess what? They'll believe you and they will self-fulfill their own prophecy. I was on my way to self-fulfilling the prophecy of a slow learner, but thank goodness I didn't listen to bad advice. I listened to all those others that were willing to take the chance and that encouraged me. You've won a speech contest. You've got a singing scholarship. This might be an area that you need to look at. This might be your journey of closing the gap between limitations and aspirations. And it was just that. You know, when we talk about even public speaking starting at the age of 13, do you realize that I started to do what is the #1 fear in America? So many people have researched and indicated that there are more people that are willing to die than talk in public, which I don't understand, because if I have an option to die or speak, I'm speaking. But I started to take that for granted. I didn't realize that at 13, I was tapping into a grace. I was tapping into a gift. I was tapping into a talent. And that's why it's so important for you to knock on doors and really take an opportunity to try some different things. You may end up finding that you are more than what they said. You may end up finding out that you can do more than what they said you can do. That's exactly what happened to me. So as teachers and as students, we've got to be so careful that we don't self-fulfill the other prophecies that people have given us. At some point, you've got to change your prophecy. And that's exactly what started to happen when I went to school, when I went to Bethune-Cookman College. I started to change my prophecy. I started to change the label of being a slow learner. And not only that, imagine this, think about it. I started to find out that what was my limitation became my asset. So here's the summary. I started out as a slow learner, taking classes on the side of the building in that little pod. I was going to speech classes because I couldn't say my S's and my R's. Then I started to participate in speaking competitions. What a bright idea. I kept going from there. When I won scholarship money, I auditioned for that choir and won another scholarship. I ran into divine intervention that said, your limitation is really your asset. Change your prophecy, you can do this. What limitation are you dealing with? How can you knock on doors and kind of change that around? What other things can you do? Maybe you're in high school, once again, trying to graduate from high school. Maybe you're wanting to go back to school or start that business. Whatever it is you're trying to do, figure out a way to knock on some doors. Get involved in some things that you've never gotten involved in. Do some things that you've never thought about doing. Volunteer. You never know where it might lead you. And again, you may find out that what you thought was a limitation is really your asset. You may find out that you're more than what they said. You may find out that you can do more than you thought you could do, but you won't know until you try. I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you've been inspired to do all that you want to do.